Hello, and welcome to the 6th edition of GLU International Festival of Media and Design, organized by the Faculty of Journalism and Creative Studies. This is Mariyam Shahid in conversation with Mr. Manish Vashisht, current head of India Studios, IBM. But prior to that, he's been associated with some reputed firms like NIIT, HFI, and so on. He has 2 decades of experience in user experience and digital transformation. Sir, a very warm welcome to you, and it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Shall we get started? Okay. My first question, sir, is rather straightforward. What has driven you into design?
Long story. I'm going to shorten it up. Okay. After my BCom, I tried to find jobs. So I found a job in research, internet research. And then in that company was a startup, right? And while I was working there for about 6 months, because it was a startup, one day they got a project saying we got a project for internet a website design, and there was nobody there to design that, and I said I will do it. Uh, this is how I entered into website designing. Okay, and I'm talking about 2000-ish time frame, 99 2000-ish time frame. So that was my first entry into website, and that was a super hit design. So in the next 3 years, I ended up designing about, I don't know, 50 odd websites for them. There was a small team we created, about 3 people. Yeah, and then I got bored. So I was experimenting with the UX, and by the way, UX usability was a very new term during that time frame. So I've tried to find jobs for usability and all that, and nobody was offering me an interview opportunity because I was a BCom guy. So then, luckily, and again, it's a long story, and I'm gonna cut it off. I found an opportunity with Quark, Chandigarh. I got selected, and that was my first usability position, UI designer position. I think I started in 2003-ish time frame, and then that was the way to enter in this whole game.
Very interesting story, sir. Now, for my next question, I want my audience to know that Mr. Manish here has done his master's in computer science and then later on did another master's in clinical psychology. So I believe that was a similar case with our famous Don Norman. So how does getting into psychology change your outlook towards the world, towards the design?
Yeah, so I have done 4 masters. So I got a MBA, marketing. I got a MSc computer science. I got an MCA, and I just recently passed my MA, and I'm moving towards becoming a psychologist. So I'm also doing a course that will give me a stamp. I can practice psychology. Anyways, um, I think psychology is the mother of design. Um, and initially, I wanted to get into cognitive psychology. I want to study cognition, how your motor works, how your brain works, how your sight works, and how all that stuff. Um, so in my psychology second year, you have to choose the primary subject, and initially I thought let me choose cognition because that's very close to design. Um, but then when I saw the content, I thought, ये तो मुझे आता है, right? And then I chose clinical. Now, clinical is even deeper. Clinical is about, okay, what are the challenges with brain? What are the issues people face? Whether those are physical issues or mental health issues. So for example, my younger kid, he's autistic, right? Borderline autistic. He's doing really, really good, by the way. Yeah. So I want to understand what's happening in his brain, how he's thinking and how he's experiencing the world and all that. That was one reason why I wanted to learn psychology, especially clinical psychology. Of course, if you know psychology as a subject, it'll definitely help you design, especially in the research area. So you could make meaningful insights from your research. You could understand, well, individual brains, right? You can also understand a mass, a group of brains. Social psychology. How, and by the way, individuals work very different from the masses. Um, Same input you give to an individual, the reaction will be different. The same input to a mass or bunch of brains, the output will be different. So you can easily predict how those two will react if you understand psychology really well. And then you can also predict how they will interact with your system, tool, process, or whatever. So psychology is really, really important for a UX designer, by the way. So I would encourage people to go learn psychology. Right?
So, truly very insightful. That's quite similar to my next question. So, since you're so passionate about neuroscience, psychology, so what do you envision the future of neuroscience in design?
Um, Interesting question. So my take is, and well, everybody's take is different. So my take is, world is changing. So if you look at 80s, hardware was the key. If you look at 90s, databases were the key. If you look at 2000s, interaction design was the key. Look at 2010s, the last decade, mobile was the key. Now AI is the key, right? Um, and if you look at the previous stages, all of those stages have become a commodity now. So hardware has already become a commodity. Databases has already become a commodity. Mobile is almost become a commodity now. Everybody can do mobile design. Everybody can do app design, right? It's not important for you to really learn mobile design now. I think in the coming decade, AI will become a commodity. And then, so, so from, so from designing for, so when we call personas, right? Um, and the way we build personas is, okay, here's a bunch of people, and let's identify the common traits of those people and create one individual, and let's design for this one individual. Okay, this is the way we've been designing historically. I think because of this whole new age AI understanding of individual brains, we could absolutely customize an experience for every individual. I don't know the solution. I don't know how we'll do it, but this is where the world is going. So if you are looking for a train ticket booking in certain way, I will be able to provide an experience for you personally, how you are looking for, versus the same process will be different for me. I think this is where the world is heading, because now we will understand what your individual brain needs, and we will have a computation power to build something very, very fast and on the fly. Um, that's my take, I think.
Enlightening, sir, truly enlightening. And I believe that interview in itself is a mental exercise for us. So, with that, thank you so much, sir, for your knowledge. I believe it will enlighten many, many minds. Okay. With cameraman Shivendra, this is Mariyam Shahid. Keep watching Lake City Live.